All new tonight on the Night Team. A community standing together. Hundreds filled the stands at Carolton Central High School to honor their kicker, Bryce Gerlock, on what would have been his senior night.
He would have wanted us to play tonight.
Schools all across southern Indiana remembering the 18-year-old almost 1 week after he was shot and killed outside a fall festival. While Bryce's memory lives on through his friends, family, teammates, and classmates, we are hearing from 2 other victims who were shot the same night outside Harvest Homecoming and survived. Now they're calling themselves the lucky ones. You're watching the WHAS11 Night Team. Tonight, southern Indiana is mourning and honoring 18-year-old Bryce Gerlock, who was shot and killed outside Harvest Homecoming last weekend. It's our top story here on the Night Team. I'm Alex Dieterer. Tonight, hundreds packed the stands at Carolton Central High School's football field. Bryce was the high school's kicker, and tonight would have been his senior night. We have team coverage from across southern Indiana. Alexandra Goldberg was there as several other high schools across the region honored Bryce in their own ways. But we want to start in Carolton with the Night Team's Clarice Shaley and photojournalist Aspen Hester. They were there for the emotional senior night ceremony as a packed crowd remembered the 18-year-old.
Bryce Gerlock.
18-year-old Bryce Gerlock's family still walks for him on what would have been his senior night, remembering him as they continue to grieve. A sea of blue fills Carolton Central High School's football field.
This is what he would have wanted.
As the school prepares for their first game without Bryce, their kicker, punter, and defense back, who was shot and killed last weekend outside of Harvest Homecoming. A wooden cross stands proud in his honor.
It is hard, but you know, when you bring the team around and everyone just has big hearts and it stays positive, it makes it easier.
Hundreds of people from all over the state pack the stands.
So we're from Ferdinand and we support Forest Park most of the time.
To show support for the school and the Gerlocks during this tough time.
So just as a mom and him as a dad, it obviously very sad for everyone, but just knowing it's a small community and the support that they got, it touched us.
Waylon DeBlotto.
As his friends celebrate their senior night,
Landon Wainscott.
they wish Bryce was too.
That's what sucks. We can just honor him the best we can and go out and play the best we can. He's up there praying for us and hoping we win.
He was the light in a dark room. You know, he could light up a room, and he put people before himself all the time.
Bryce's friends stand on the field where he once stood, proud of him and honored to fill his position in the game dedicated to their sweet boy. In Carolton, Clarice Shaley with photojournalist Aspen Hester, WHAS 11 Night Team on your side.
Now, the support was strong for Bryce and his family throughout southern Indiana tonight. High schools across the region sold bracelets to raise money for Bryce's family, asking fans to come wearing blue, like these students at Madison, Indiana schools. At Crawford County, they added a 12 painted to their sidelines for their game against Clarksville. Despite the rivalries and desire to win, schools across the Hoosier state showed out tonight and show that tonight was more than just a game. The WHAS 11 Night Team's Alexandra Goldberg and photojournalist Elijah McKenzie captured the emotion under the Friday night lights.
Support on literally everybody, even if you didn't know him, even just the story. Leaning on people is what's getting everybody through.
High schools across southern Indiana are honoring 18-year-old Bryce Gerlock, who was tragically killed at Harvest Homecoming last Saturday.
Never saw him without a smile on his face, they said.
Here at Floyd Central High School, playing the New Albany Bulldogs. Bryce should have been celebrating his senior night at Carolton High School tonight. Now, in an outpouring of support, students from all over the region are celebrating his life.
Bryce was really close with basically all of us here at Floyd at different sporting events. He was always there.
Fans decked out in orange for gun violence awareness.
I can't imagine what the parents are going through with having a kid, you know, close to that age. I don't even see what I don't know. I'm at a loss for words.
These t-shirts selling out early in the night.
Awareness is one of the biggest things, just getting it known and getting his name spread.
It's a small gesture, something that we're grateful we can do.
In southern Indiana, the region standing together.
That's what makes this place special. It's a small town community. We got our rivalries and our sports and, you know, our battles on the field and that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, we care about each other and we try to help each other as much as we can. And that's what makes it awesome.
To honor Bryce Gerlock, who was loved by so many. In New Albany, Alexandra Goldberg, WHAS11 Night Team, on your side.
We're learning more about how the night that killed Gerlock unfolded. 2 other people were also shot that night, and they are expected to survive. 22-year-old Brendan Hagan and New Albany mother Michelle Nashi were both hit in the leg by the gunfire. WHAS11 spoke with Hagan from his hospital bed as he continues his recovery. Nashi elected to let her friends speak for her. Both of them say that despite being shot, they are the lucky ones.
I'm blessed for sure. On my end, I just really wish it would have been more blessing on some other people's end, like that kid Bryce.
So here's what Michelle said to me. She said that she doesn't feel like a victim in this case. Her words verbatim were she drew the long straw, and Bryce's family and Bryce don't get that.
New Albany Police are still looking for suspects in this case. In a statement, they tell us, quote, "Our team has worked tirelessly since the incident to bring those responsible for this senseless act to justice," end quote. Anyone with information should contact New Albany Police. You can do that anonymously through their tip line. That number right here on your screen is 812-948-NAPD. Today, police in Carolton provided an update on the massive deadly house fire that burned in downtown yesterday. Officers said they have recovered the bodies of 3 people and are still looking for a 4th. Today, fire officials and police were able to finally go through the rubble. Firefighters say today was the first day they could do a proper search of the facilities because the flames were so intense they continued to smolder overnight. Now, as the rubble is carried away, the small, tight-knit community is rallying together.
Again, that's the reason I say we need to pray for this community. The whole community, when one hurts, the whole community hurts here.
The State Coroner Task Force will deliver recovered bodies to Kentucky's medical examiner for official identification. The Kentucky State Police Arson Unit will handle the investigation into how this fire started. Officials say it's too early to speculate on the cause. Tonight, more than 7 years after 2 young girls were killed while hiking in Delphi, Indiana, the trial of Richard Allen, the man accused in their murders, is now underway. 13-year-old Abby Williams and her friend 14-year-old Libby German disappeared after a hike. Their bodies discovered on Valentine's Day of 2017. For the first time today, the trial revealed details of the murders. Prosecutors told jurors that they will see the crime scene and described it as gruesome, both girls with their throats cut. Today, jurors also heard from Libby's family, who described the search for the girls and the heartbreak after learning they had been killed. Allen has pleaded not guilty to 4 counts of murder. And here in Louisville, a jury has been seated in the federal retrial for former LMPD officer Brett Hankison. It's a jury including alternates made up of 8 women and 7 men. 1 juror is black, which was also the case in Hankison's first federal trial that ended in a hung jury and a mistrial last November. Judge Rebecca Grady Jennings also heard arguments today of whether Hankison's actions as an LMPD officer before 2020 can be used in testimony for this newly formed jury to hear. She's expected to make a decision on that before opening statements on Monday.